The year was 2478. Humanity had reached far beyond the blue skies of Earth, stretching its reach to distant planets and moons. Colonies had been established on Mars, Titan, Europa, and even the edges of the asteroid belt. Ships carried people, goods, and dreams across the stars. But as humans expanded, the rest of the galaxy watched with concern. The United Galactic Council, an alliance of alien civilizations, decided that humanity's obsession with weapons was too dangerous. They believed that humans, with their firearms and unbridled courage, posed a risk not only to other species but even to themselves. And so, a new law was declared across all human colonies. All firearms were banned. It was a shocking day. Guns, pistols, rifles, even small blasters, everything that humans had relied on for centuries, was forbidden. Alien inspectors arrived on colonies with scanners, drones, and enforcement squads. Storage vaults were emptied, and humans were forced to surrender their weapons under the watchful eyes of alien officials. Captain Selene Voss stood on the observation deck of Titan Colony's central tower, watching the delivery drones take away crates filled with rifles and pistols. The wind of Titan's thin atmosphere blew her hair across her face, but she didn't notice. Her mind was elsewhere. "We've lost our defense," she muttered to herself. Her voice was firm, but a shadow of worry passed over her features. "Not just our weapons, our pride." Selene had grown up on the colonies. She remembered the stories of Earth, of guns that could fire hundreds of bullets in seconds, of hunters tracking game, of soldiers protecting cities and ships. Humanity had always relied on ingenuity, strategy, and courage. Now, stripped of firearms, they seemed defenseless against the alien patrols that watched every corner of the colonies. The aliens were everywhere. They were taller than humans, with metallic gray skin that reflected the weak sunlight of Titan. Their eyes glowed faintly, scanning constantly. Their technology was unlike anything humans had ever seen. Shields that could stop bullets before they even touched them, drones that could follow and record every human movement, and ships that could travel faster than any human engine. The Council's message was clear: humans must obey or face consequences. But humanity had never been good at obeying when their freedom was at stake. In the secret chambers beneath Titan Colony's research complex, Selene met with her closest friends and allies. They were engineers, former soldiers, and scientists, people who refused to accept the Council's domination without question. Selene tapped on a holographic display. "We need a weapon," she said. Her voice echoed slightly in the dimly lit room. "Something that can work against their shields, something they don't expect." A young engineer, Ryan Core, scratched his head. "They're too advanced. Their shields can stop anything from Earth-based tech. Lasers, bullets, even plasma rounds won't penetrate." Selene's eyes narrowed. "Then we think differently. Humans have a history of adapting. We take the old, the simple, and make it powerful. The Council expects humans to obey. They won't expect us to fight back in a way they consider primitive." Ryan tilted his head. "Primitive?" "Yes," Selene said with a faint smile. "We fight with something humans have used for thousands of years: bows." The room went quiet. For a moment, no one moved. Then one of the older engineers, Mara Den, chuckled softly. "A bow against alien shields." "You've lost your mind, Captain." Selene shook her head. "Not a normal bow, a steel-tipped, armor-piercing bow, made with materials from our colonies, powered with new alloys and guided with AI. A bow is silent, precise, and deadly. The aliens will never see it coming." Excitement began to ripple through the group. Ideas started flowing. Ryan sketched diagrams on the holographic board. "If we use a nanofiber string and a steel tip hardened in the plasma forge, we could create an arrow that pierces their shields." Mara raised an eyebrow. "And how do we aim it at their ships or drones? They're in orbit or flying at incredible speeds." Selene tapped the hologram. "We add sensors, AI targeting. We train our archers to think like sharpshooters. This is not just weapon making, it's strategy. Stealth, precision, and speed. Over the next few weeks, the team worked tirelessly. In underground labs, they forged arrows from steel alloys mined on Titan and coated them with a special plasma-hardened layer. Bows were crafted with flexible nanofiber limbs, giving them strength beyond human imagination. They installed sensors on the arrows, allowing slight course adjustments mid-flight. Meanwhile, training began. Humans learned to move silently across the rocky terrain of Titan, practicing night strikes and coordinated attacks. Selene herself trained the first squads of archers, ensuring they moved as one unit, as fast and precise as a predator hunting its prey. Despite the danger, humans adapted quickly. Unlike the aliens, humans had creativity, intuition, and unpredictability on their side. They had survived harsh environments, pandemics, wars, and disasters on Earth and beyond. Now stripped of guns, their ingenuity became their weapon. Days passed and the patrols continued. Alien drones flew in the sky, scanning, recording, ensuring compliance. The Council believed humanity was under control. But below the observation towers, humans were preparing something they had never tried before. One evening, Selene stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking the orange mist of Titan's valleys. She held a prototype bow, feeling its weight. The string hummed slightly in the wind. She pulled an arrow back, aiming at a distant rock. The arrow flew with uncanny speed, striking the target dead center. A small smile appeared on her face. "It works," she whispered. "And when the time comes, they will know humans never give up." Back in the colony, whispers of the secret weapon spread quietly among trusted circles. Other colonies began experimenting as well, secretly sharing designs and ideas. The spark of rebellion had been lit. Humanity was no longer content to be passive. They had been cornered, but cornered humans were dangerous. They adapted, they planned, and most importantly, they had hope. Night fell over Titan and the twin moons glimmered faintly in the sky. Humans moved through the shadows, testing their arrows, coordinating strikes, and learning the terrain. They knew the aliens watched, but the Council underestimated human creativity. They believed that without guns, humans were harmless. They were wrong. Selene gathered her team in the underground chamber one final time before their first test mission. "Remember," she said firmly, "this is just the beginning. We are not attacking blindly. We are sending a message. We are showing the galaxy that humans can fight back in ways no one expects. Our weapons may look simple, but our minds are our greatest strength." Ryan nodded, holding a bow with a gleam in his eyes. "Let us show them what humans can do." And for the first time in decades, humanity on Titan felt alive, dangerous, and free, not because of the weapons they had lost, but because of the ones they were about to create. The stars above seemed to shine a little brighter that night, as if watching in silent approval. The spark had been lit, and soon it would grow into a fire the galaxy could not ignore. The night sky above Titan was calm, almost peaceful, but beneath that quiet surface, a storm was building. Humans had trained for weeks in secret, perfecting their aim, moving silently across the rocky plains, and learning every shadow, every ridge, and every crater. Their bows, made of steel and nanofiber, glimmered faintly under Titan's twin moons, each arrow tipped with armor-piercing technology that no alien shield had ever faced. Captain Selene Voss stood at the edge of the hidden training grounds, watching her team move in synchronized patterns. Their movements were smooth, precise, and quiet. Every archer understood the plan: strike quickly, hit hard, and vanish before the aliens could respond. "We have only one chance," Selene whispered, scanning the horizon with binoculars. The alien drones patrolled above, moving in predictable patterns. "We must be perfect." Her team nodded. Ryan, Mara, and the other engineers checked the bows one last time, ensuring every string, every arrow, every sensor was ready. This was more than a test. This was the humans' first message to the galaxy: we will not be controlled. At the signal, the humans moved into position. From the cliffs above, they observed the alien patrol drones flying in formation. The drones were fast and silent, but even they had weaknesses. Selene had studied their movements for weeks, noting the slight delays in their shield activation and the blind spots in their field of vision. "On my mark," she whispered. 3, 2, 1. The first arrow shot from the bow, flying with unbelievable speed. It hit the shield of a drone at just the right angle, and for the first time the unthinkable happened. The arrow pierced through. The drone's sparks shuddered and fell, crashing into the rocky ground below. The humans held their breath, then a second, third, and fourth arrow followed. Each found its target, slicing through shields that no one thought possible. The sky was filled with streaks of steel, silent but deadly, as the humans' precision overcame the alien technology. The drones scrambled, their alarms blaring, but they could not predict the humans' next moves. From hidden towers and rocky outcrops, more squads fired arrows. The aliens had never faced anything like this. Their shields, designed to repel bullets and energy beams, were useless against the speed and accuracy of human archery. Selene watched, her heart pounding with pride. Humans were proving that even without guns, they could fight, adapt, and survive. Every arrow that struck an alien drone was a victory, a proof of human ingenuity. As the drones fell, the alien patrol ships above began to respond. Smaller craft descended to investigate, scanning for the humans who dared to strike. But the humans had anticipated this. Using Titan's terrain, they moved in patterns designed to confuse sensors and radar. Shadows became allies, rocks became cover, and the night became a weapon. Ryan fired from a hidden cliffside, his arrows guided by the sensors they had installed. Each hit was precise, each impact strategic. Mara moved silently, leading a group to flank the approaching ships. They were no longer just humans with bows, they were hunters, predators in a land the aliens believed they controlled. "Keep moving," Selene shouted, her voice calm but commanding. "Hit, then disappear. Never give them a target." The first wave of alien reinforcements arrived, but by then the humans had learned to anticipate their movements. They used Titan's low gravity to their advantage, firing arrows at angles that even AI-guided systems struggled to track. One by one, alien drones and smaller ships fell, unable to comprehend how humans had turned something as simple as a bow into a weapon capable of piercing their shields. The battle lasted only an hour, but to the humans, it felt like a lifetime. By the end of it, the skies were filled with the remnants of alien technology. Sparks flickered from fallen drones, and smaller ships retreated in confusion and fear. The humans had won the first round. Selene gathered her team afterward, all of them exhausted but elated. "You did it," she said, her voice filled with pride. "Tonight, humanity showed that we will not be controlled. We may not have guns, but we have skill, intelligence, and courage. That is something no alien shield can ever stop." The message of victory spread quickly across human colonies. Other groups began experimenting with bows of their own design, improving the steel tips, increasing the range, and integrating sensors. Humans who had once felt powerless now felt unstoppable. Even in victory, Selene knew the fight was far from over. The aliens were powerful and the Council would respond. But for the first time in decades, humans had hope, and that hope was dangerous. Hope made them bold. Hope made them inventive. And above all, hope made them human. The next day, the Council convened an emergency meeting. Alien leaders watched surveillance footage of Titan, their expressions unreadable but tense. They could not understand how humans had achieved such precision without firearms. They had relied on technology to maintain control, and now they realized their tools were not enough. Humans were adaptable, unpredictable, and fearless. Back on Titan, Selene and her team worked tirelessly to prepare for what would come next. They trained more archers, designed stronger arrows, and improved the guidance systems. Every human who joined the cause was taught the same lesson. Victory was not just about weapons, but about creativity, teamwork, and courage. One evening, Selene stood on a cliff, looking at the stars. She thought about Earth, about the generations of humans who had survived wars, disasters, and exploration. Humanity had always faced challenges and had always overcome them. Now, facing alien oversight and technological superiority, they were doing the same. Humans never give up, she said softly. No matter how impossible it seems, we find a way. The team continued to train, preparing for future battles. They learned to move faster, aim more accurately, and coordinate attacks across larger areas. Titan became a proving ground for human ingenuity, a place where technology and creativity met to challenge the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. As days turned into weeks, the humans began to realize something important. Their success was not just in weapons. It was in their thinking, their spirit, and their unity. Aliens could have superior tech, but humans had something no machine could replicate: the ability to imagine, to adapt, and to act unpredictably. And so, the humans prepared for the next phase of their fight. They had sent a clear message. Even without guns, humans could strike back. The aliens could no longer take humanity lightly. Selene looked at her team one final time before the next mission. Tonight we were hunters. Tomorrow we will be strategists, innovators, and warriors. Remember this: the galaxy underestimates humans at its own risk. The stars shone brightly above Titan, as if acknowledging the courage of a small group of humans determined to prove their strength. The spark had grown into a flame, and soon, the entire galaxy would feel its heat. Humans had struck back, and they had struck hard, and this was only the beginning. Colonies and even to distant alien worlds. Humans had proven that even without firearms, they could challenge the most advanced technology the universe had to offer. Captain Selene Voss stood on the observation platform of Titan Colony, looking at the horizon. The twin moons glimmered above the rocky plains, and in the distance, small squads of human archers moved in precise formations, testing new techniques and equipment. "This is bigger than Titan," Selene said quietly to Ryan Core, who was adjusting the sensors on a bow. "Other colonies are joining in. We're building a force they can't ignore," Ryan nodded. "They think they can control us with technology and rules. They don't understand human determination. Every colony we train becomes stronger, smarter, faster." The aliens had reacted cautiously. Patrols increased, and surveillance became tighter. They believed that humans would soon tire of their resistance, that without guns, humanity would fall back into obedience. But humans had learned a critical lesson on Titan. Ingenuity was more powerful than any weapon, and courage was unstoppable. Selene's plan for the next phase was bold. They would no longer attack isolated drones or small patrols. Humans would coordinate a massive, synchronized strike on the alien fleet patrolling the Orion Expanse, a collection of warships considered impenetrable. The mission was risky, but failure was not an option. Humanity had gained confidence, but more importantly, they had learned to trust each other completely. The night before the mission, Selene gathered her team in the underground chamber. Hundreds of humans, engineers, and soldiers sat in rows, each holding a bow or checking equipment. The air was filled with quiet determination. "Tomorrow," Selene began, "we show the galaxy what humans can do. This is not just a battle, it is a statement. We do not rely solely on technology. We rely on our minds, our courage, and our unity. The aliens believe they are invincible. They are wrong." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Each arrow we fire, each maneuver we make, will show them that humanity cannot be underestimated. Tonight, rest. Tomorrow, we make history." As dawn approached, the human squads moved into position. Titan's rocky cliffs provided cover, and the low gravity allowed them to launch arrows at distances and angles impossible on Earth. The bows were no longer simple tools, they had evolved. Steel tips reinforced with nanofiber, self-guiding sensors, and aerodynamic designs made each arrow a weapon capable of piercing even the strongest alien shields. Selene gave the signal. Hundreds of arrows were released simultaneously, forming a deadly wave across the sky. Alien ships attempted evasive maneuvers, but the arrows adjusted mid-flight, finding gaps in shields that no alien engineer had anticipated. Sparks flew as armor-piercing tips struck with precision, disabling engines and systems across multiple ships. From hidden vantage points, human archers moved in perfect synchrony, striking from unexpected angles. Smaller ships fell first, creating confusion among the fleet. The aliens had never seen anything like it. Their shields, designed to withstand energy weapons and missiles, could not adapt fast enough to the humans' unpredictability. Selene coordinated every movement through her team. "Focus on the engines," she shouted through secure comm channels. "Disable their propulsion. Don't give them a chance to regroup." The human strategy worked. Ships slowed, drifted, and collided in the vastness of space. The humans were not just fighting, they were outthinking the aliens at every turn. Each arrow's flight was calculated, every move a step in a larger plan. Meanwhile, other colonies joined the fight. Mars, Europa, and even outposts on distant asteroids launched coordinated attacks, sending waves of arrows across the expanse. The aliens, overwhelmed by the scale and coordination, struggled to respond. Their technology was advanced, but human ingenuity had proven superior in unpredictability, creativity, and teamwork. As the battle reached its peak, Selene took a moment to observe. "Look at them," she whispered. "They think technology alone makes them strong, but it's our courage and unity that turns the tide." Hours passed. The alien fleet, once considered invincible, was crippled. Ships fell from orbit, engines destroyed, systems disabled. The humans had not only defended their colonies, they had forced the aliens to reconsider their superiority. When the dust settled, silence returned to the Orion expanse. Human teams regrouped, checking equipment, tending to minor injuries, and sharing the relief of survival. The sky was scattered with the wreckage of alien ships, a testament to human skill and determination. Selene stood at the forefront, looking at the remnants of the battle. "We've done what they said was impossible," she said, her voice steady but filled with awe. "We've shown them that humans, cornered or constrained, will always find a way to strike back." The aliens, watching from their distant command centers, could no longer underestimate humanity. The Council realized that bands, patrols, and superior technology were not enough. Humans adapted, learned, and overcame with creativity and courage. It was a lesson written in steel and strategy, and it would not be forgotten. In the weeks that followed, the humans solidified their presence. Colonies strengthened defenses, trained new archers, and shared knowledge freely. Humanity's reputation as a clever, resilient, and unstoppable force spread across the galaxy. Even those who had once doubted humans now recognized their unique strength. Selene continued to lead, guiding humanity with strategy, intelligence, and foresight. She understood that the battle had been won not just with bows, but with planning, innovation, and the courage to challenge the impossible. Every colonist, every engineer, every archer had played a role, proving that unity and creativity were as powerful as any weapon. One evening, standing on Titan's highest cliff, Selene gazed at the stars. Ships from human colonies moved quietly in orbit, preparing for exploration and defense. Humanity had faced the greatest technological challenge in the galaxy and had prevailed. Ryan joined her, looking at the horizon. "Do you think the Council will try again?" he asked. Selene shook her head. "They may try, but they will never underestimate humans again. We've shown them that even in the face of rules, bans, and superior technology, humans adapt, we survive, we innovate, we fight back, and we win. The stars seemed to shine brighter that night, as if acknowledging the strength of a small species that refused to be controlled. Humans had turned what seemed like weakness into power, limitation into opportunity, and fear into determination. The galaxy had witnessed the triumph of ingenuity, courage, and unity. Humanity had proven that even the most advanced alien technology could not overcome creativity, persistence, and teamwork. The bow had become more than a weapon. It was a symbol of hope, resistance, and the unbreakable human spirit. Selene smiled, knowing this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown challenges, but humanity had discovered a truth more important than any weapon. They were unstoppable when they worked together, trusted their instincts, and refused to be defeated. And so, as Titan's twin moons rose high, humans looked to the stars not with fear, but with ambition. The spark of rebellion had grown into a fire that would burn across the galaxy, illuminating the path of courage, ingenuity, and unyielding spirit. Humanity had struck back, and the universe would never forget.